Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be focused on a little bit of comic book history, giving you a little bit of origin to Mr. Fantastic, and then going into his comic book abilities and what we're likely to see and what Kabam can really do when this character goes live in the coming weeks. Obviously guys, make sure to support the channel by hitting the notification bell on all, and as well hitting the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. But let's delve into some comic book history. The Fantastic Four was created in 1961, and this was the first edition that was released in November. But this video isn't focused on the Fantastic Four, it's mainly Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic himself. He was a child protege, excelling in things like mathematics, physics and mechanics, and as well he went to Caltech. Not to mention he went to MIT. I've got this kind of Sheldon Cooper vibe. If you haven't seen Big Bang Theory, then that little analogy or that little comparison would not really compare very well. But the fact is, he is a genius. That's the main thing to say. From a child right the way through to his adult life. One of the smartest characters in the Marvel Universe. Now he has multiple degrees. Whilst he was trying to get his 5th degree at the State University of Hegeman, New York, if I've said that right, he actually met Victor Von Doom and Benjamin J. Grimm, aka The Thing. There's actually 3 little bits of connections when it comes to that university stint. So, the first thing being that Grimm, aka The Thing, says that he's going to pilot his starship someday, which obviously, as we know from Fantastic Four, that's what happens. The second thing being that he is renting a room from the aunt of Susan Storm, and that's where he falls in love with Sue until he has to move out. Obviously, infatuation is going to stop his work. Again, very Sheldon Cooper-like vibe to this. And the final thing being that his interactions with Dr. Doom unfortunately lead to Dr. Doom's arrogance going, right, well, this machine that I'm building, that is going to sort out some kind of astral projection type stuff. Yeah, is this going to work? Yeah, it is. No, Reed Richards is like, no, it's not going to work. It's going to leave you horribly maimed in the face. Doesn't say that, but that actually is what happens. Which then subsequently leads to him getting completely angry with him and starts this kind of vendetta like, oh, you're the cause of this. No, I was simply trying to help Victor Von Doom, you idiot. I just want to take a moment from the video just to talk about something, and the thing that's troubling me is the Fantastic Four films. Now, the one thing that they do touch upon is they talk about their time in university, the first one definitely, and the second one I don't know if I've fully seen through, and I don't think anybody really has seen fully through. So if they do end up doing another reboot of the film, or maybe it would be good to explore a Disney Plus series, have them talk about or go back to that time in university and create the tension between them both, the rivalry, the kind of tension between him and Sue Storm as he falls in love, and the whole kind of like Sheldon Cooper type aspect. But in any case, back to the comic book history. Now with university completed, what was Reed to do? And that's right, military service or military application of his knowledge and intellect, and that is what indeed happened. This allowed him to have an extended rapport and friendship with Benjamin Grimm, so obviously they're best of chums. Also in and around his time of military service, he was building a starship. That's going to be very important in a moment. But how did he find the money to build this starship? Well, his father left him $2 billion. I know that's a lot of money, but how did he go missing? The fact is, he built a time machine, as one does, and it sent him to an alternate Earth, as it does. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate when those things happen. But again, it's important for that starship to be built because the next thing that happens is going to be the biggest turning point in his origin. Now, one of the biggest twists is that the federal government decided to pull funding from the project. And let's face it, $2 billion isn't enough. If you said to Elon Musk, hey, you know your SpaceX program, yeah, we're going to pull major funding for it. You know, $2 billion of his own money isn't going to be enough, and the rest for the funding, yeah, it's going to have to come from a lot of money. But yeah, Reeves decided to do a test flight regardless of this situation and took up with him Sue Storm, not to mention Benjamin Grimm, and obviously Sue's adolescent brother, Johnny. Even though he was wrong to do so, he took the ship to hyperspace and he wanted to prove a point that the government should be continuing their funding. But unfortunately, tragedy struck and a solar flare with ultra high levels of cosmic radiation hit, and well, the rest they say is history. And the future was that Reed Richards discovered his body had become malleable and that he now had the ability to elongate his body at will. Richards then convinced the others that the 4 of them should use their newfound powers for the good of humanity as members of a team he named the Fantastic Four. Now, there's been so many epic stories that the Fantastic Four have been associated with, but I think it's Secret Wars that is the most epic. So the story goes that the multiverse is crumbling and there needs to be somewhere to go for the people of Earth 616, so they create these vessels. They then manage to get themselves into the battle world, or the kind of crumbling of different types of multiverses in one place, where Doctor Doom obviously is the ruler. But there seems to be a battle that ensues later on. It's discovered that Reed Richards is there. Dr. Doom's like, oh, you know, we need to battle out, let's make it a fair fight. Molecule Man takes away the powers of Dr. Doom, or they kind of like have an equal fight, so the powers are kind of reduced down. But by the end of it, there's this point where Dr. Doom says, you could have done better if you had my powers, and Reed Richards is like, yeah, I can do better. And then what happens is that Reed Richards is given godlike powers and is able to recreate the multiverses in the way it was before they all collapsed, which is so darn cool. And the way that obviously it's kind of Secret Wars as well, it's like nobody knows, which is just, again, so darn cool to him have those powers and then be able to put everything right, which Reed Richards just spends a lot of his time doing that kind of thing. He's got a good heart and a big mind, but that's the problem sometimes, that everything else is bigger than the man, and he needs to take time for himself, have a day off. Okay, let's talk abilities. Now, I did forget about this because it just literally skipped me completely. This is a video showcasing his kind of like movements, and it does look pretty good. This is a very early video in anything that could be shown. Like, he's not going to get indestructible, but this is going to be something that's going to change. And you can see that he's got this kind of weird stance. It's a real weird stance. I think with the animations, I'm hoping there's like great improvement. This was put out on the 29th of September. This kind of holding there, like that kind of, I don't know what he's like. It's got like a hand there. I think it would have been good to have that further extended as a wide kind of shielding hand. It seems a bit of a poor animation, but I think this may be that they were working on it at the time. And even there, like the kind of going up, that looks like it's done animation. That is pretty cool, I think, with a heavy attack. But I think there's still a lot more to be built with this character. And again, it doesn't showcase abilities. It just showcases a lot of the movement. A quick look over at Marvel Wiki gives us an idea of what kind of abilities we're likely to see. He's not the greatest as a fighter, which obviously means it uses his intellect. And his intellect would be to understand what characters have as abilities. Maybe undermine them. So maybe there'll be some kind of limiting of ability accuracy. So that would be something that would be, again, quite cool. Maybe the awakened ability. He's got very dense flesh. So you could say that is he going to have something that he can shrug off, things like bleeds, because he wouldn't be able to be bled. Would he be able to, he'd probably get poisoned, because I think there's been times he's been sick or something. I think that we'll probably see something, maybe, would it be, no, I wouldn't have incinerate immunity, but I'm guessing there would be some aspects. I mean, he's been frozen before, so therefore he wouldn't have any kind of frostbite immunity or cold snap immunity. Also, I think that he probably won't have any massive tie into a lot of this stuff here, which is like the changing of the shapes. We did see a bit of it in that particular footage, but I don't think that's going to be a staple thing about that character. Also, I don't think he's going to have godly powers as we've seen that he could be given by Molecule Man. I just don't think that's going to be a thing. But something that I'd really hope for is a massive tie-in synergy, that he is the leader of the Fantastic Four, that they possess an amazing synergy that could take down enemies. You know, you have all of them together, they have all these kind of amazing move sets and as well synergy sets. That is going to mean that if you have them as a questing team, those four, not to mention an extra one to boot, Dr. Von Doom, Silver Surfer, you're going to have some amazing tie-ins there. So Mr. Fantastic is actually, in my mind, one of the weakest ones based on strength level, but the intelligence level is unparalleled. So will they have something where his knowledge is to cause exhaustion or breakdown of one particular character, reduce down ability accuracy? That is my hope for the build of Mr. Reed Richards' Fantastic Four. I'm glad that he's got a beard as well. I think that is amazing, especially tying into the more kind of modern looks. And yeah, I'm really excited to what we could see. I don't know how you feel about the character going forward in implementation next week or the week after. Put it in the comment section down below what you think about the abilities, what you think could happen with the character. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. That would be helpful as well. And I'll see you in another video. Probably a Doctor Doom video will be out very soon, showcasing and having a look at his various powers, and as well just a little bit of comic book history. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.